Hi guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. And if you get anything from my work, an epiphany, a connect dot, a mind blown moment. I know I went out of sequence there. Anything helps. Please support me at the bottom of the description. And if you would like to check out, I got some new stuff coming out of the mold, hopefully later on today. I have another heart. I got some pyramids I'm working on, animal portraits, all that fun stuff. Please go check out my website, alleycatcreations211.com. That's where you can see all my artwork, and email me, which is in the description also, if you're interested in anything that I do. I just got home from professional development to learn how much I make. And I'm going to need a second job. As much as I love what I do and I am all in it to win a chicken dinner, it is not going to pay my bills. So I got to figure out route two. So, yeah. Any and all support is awesome if I want to keep this channel up. And obviously, YouTube doesn't pay me and I don't pay YouTube. So whenever I do a video, I'm going to get to do a video, but I got to get a job ASAP. So this obviously doesn't make me enough, and I'm not monetized yet. So even that wouldn't be enough, but it's an income. And I want to thank everybody, and I appreciate all the people who send me little bits and pieces of what they can when they can. It's appreciated. Just know that I am going to try to push myself in a million directions until something gives, and then figure it out from there. Because I love doing this too. It just doesn't make anything. And unfortunately, we still live in 3D and I have to make income somehow. So if there's any ideas floating around, guys, of like part-time, nothing where I have to invest money. I don't have money to invest, number one. I don't want pyramid scheme stuff or shady business stuff. But if there's jobs out there that doesn't require an Ethernet cable or something I could do like reading books that I could do at home besides the artwork and stuff, I do get jobs, but it's not a steady income right at the moment. So if anybody has some ideas, shoot them in the comments. That would help me. Like minds think alike. And I need something, and it's getting really scary. And my head was a little blown today for what I make. It's devastating for the work that I do, but I'm never really in it for the money. Nothing I've ever done was for the money. It was for my happiness and for what I do for others. I just haven't been the recipient of large sums of abundance, let's just say that, financially. But I get fulfilled with what I do. It's just hard. And I'm also having severe allergies happening. The trees are dropping, they're fungused, and it's triggering a lot of my allergies, and they're working in my building, and I have sawdust, and I bet you I'm allergic to that too because I'm very stuffy. We'll see how we manage this. This is Blavatsky, the Secret Doctrine Book 2. We're going to start stanza 4. There's a continuation, and I might do it the next time just to preserve myself. I'm also exhausted because I think the heat index here is 110 today, and it was very hot in my building, and where I had my professional development was at another school, and it was very hot in there. So yeah, I'm tired and barely able to breathe. So Stanza 4, creation of the first races. Creation of men, they are empty shadows. The creators are perplexed how to create a thinking man. What is needed for the formation of a perfect man? This should be interesting. Sorry, I just sneezed. Don't need to do that on film. The seven hosts, the will or mind, born, lords, propelled by the spirit of life-giving Fohat, separate men from themselves, each on his own zone. They threw of their shadows or astral bodies of such an ethereal being as a lunar spirit may be supposed to rejoice in an astral besides a hardly tangible body. In another commentary, it is said that the ancestors breathed out the first man, as Brahma is explained to have breathed out the Suras, gods, when they came Asuras from Asu breath. In a third, it is said that they, the newly created men, were the shadows of the shadows. With regard to the sentence, they were the shadows of the shadows, a few more words may be said and a fuller explanation attempted. The first process of the evolution of mankind is far easier to accept than the one which follows it. The one and all will be rejected and doubted even by some Kabbalists, especially the Western, who study the present effects but have neglected to study their primary causes. Nor does the writer feel competent to explain a mode of procreation so difficult of appreciation, save for an Eastern occultist. Therefore, it is useless to enter here into details concerning the process through it is minutely described in the secret books, as it would only lead to speaking of facts here too unknown to the profane world, and hence to their being misunderstood. An atom made of the dust of the ground will always be found preferable by a certain class of students to one projected out of the ethereal body of his creator, though the former process has never been heard of, while the latter is familiar, as all know, to many spiritualists in Europe and America, who of all men ought to understand it. For who of those who have witnessed the phenomenon of a materializing form oozing out of the pores of a medium, or at other times out of his left side, can fail to credit the possibility, at least at such a birth? If there are in the universe and such beings as angels or spirits who, in corporeal essence, may constitute an intelligent, entity, notwithstanding the absence of any to us solid organism, and if there are those who believe that a god made the first man out of dust and breathed into him a living soul, there are millions upon millions who believe both. What does this doctrine of ours contain that is impossible? Very soon the day will dawn when the world will have to choose whether it will accept the miraculous creation of man and cosmos too, out of nothing, according to the dead letter of Genesis, or a first man born from a fantastic link, absolutely missing, so far the common ancestor of man of the true ape. Between these two fallacies, occult philosophy steps in. It teaches that the first human stock was projected by higher and semi-divine beings out of their own essences. If the latter process is to be considered as abnormal or even inconceivable, because obsolete in nature at this point of evolution, it is yet proven possible on the authority of certain spiritualistic facts, which then we ask of the three hypotheses of theories is the most reasonable and the least absurd. Certainly no one, provided he is not a soul-bound materialist, can never object to the occult teaching. Pause here 2 seconds. Personal survival talks about ectoplasm and talks about the materialization of spirit into matter. She is quoted a lot in the Curtis books. This is the same around the same time the spiritualist movement was like sweeping the West. So a lot of what the Curtises are talking about in personal survival and the realms of the living dead are also here in Blavatsky's work. Take that as it will. And she's right. This whole, did we come from apes or where do we come from? There's a third option, which wasn't really here, is extraterrestrial, because extra territory, terrestrial, doesn't mean UFOs. If you look at the nos confunding aspect of things, where it's a flattish plane, an extra terras, which is extra land outside of the dome, the firmament. Whatever way you perceive reality is yours to perceive. It's not mine. I'm just giving you different viewpoints. I know it for myself because I've seen it. I've seen the layering of densities and dimensional spaces, the overlays. Everybody experiences this journey differently, but there's a valid point there because we're evolving now again, and it's profound. As of now, as shown, we gather from the latter the man was not created. The complete being he is now, however imperfect, he still remains. There was a spiritual, a psychic, and an intellectual, and an animal evolution from the highest to the lowest, as well as physical development, from the simplest and homogeneous up to the more complex and heterogeneous, though not quite on the lines traced for us by the modern evolutionists. This double evolution is two contrary directions, required various ages of diverse natures and degrees of spirituality and intellectuality to fabricate the being now known as man. Furthermore, the one absolute, even acting, even erring law, which proceeds on the same lines from one eternity or Manvarata to the other, ever furnishing an ascending scale for the manifested, or that which we call the great illusion, their density, but plunging spirit deeper and deeper into materiality on the one hand, and they're redeeming it through flesh and liberating it. Thus, this law, we say, uses for these purposes the beings from other and higher planes, man or minds, in accordance with their karmic exeges. What she fails to tell you, and this is my perception and understanding of reality, is that we're all concurrently living in all densities, dimensional spaces, because our soul is fractaled in many different things. So at the same time, I'm a blade of grass, a tree, an animal, like Morgan passed away. She had a part of my soul. I'm an ascended master, an angelic incarnated, a celestial, an ethereal, an elemental. I'm a low guy. I'm a part of the universe. I'm functioning as a star. My soul's in all and everything, and so is yours. Congratulations. And this is an illusion, by the way. Because once you ascend, you get the picture of your other selves playing out their roles in different densities. So some of you are the air, some of you are the rocks, as you are concurrently watching me right now. I know, it's mind-boggling. At this juncture, the reader is again asked to turn to the Indian philosophy and religion. The esotericism of both is at one with our secret doctrine, however much the form may differ and vary. On the identity and differences of the incarnating powers. Aha. The progenitors of man, called in India fathers, Pitra or Pitris, are the creators of our bodies and lower principles. They are ourselves as the first personalities, and we are they. She gets it. Pre-evil man would be the bone of their bone and the flesh of their flesh, if they had body and flesh. As stated, they were inner beings. The endowers of man with his conscious, immortal ego are the solar angels, whether so regarded metaphorically or literally. The mysteries of the conscious ego or human soul are great. The esoteric name of these solar angels is literally the Lord. Nath, a preserving ceaseless devotion. Therefore, they are the fifth principle manas, seem to be connected with or to have originated the system of the yogis, who make of Parandihana their fifth observance. It has already been explained why the trans-Himalayan occultists regard them as evidently identical with those who in India are termed Kumaras and Anguishwadas and Barishahads. Barishahad. Yeah, you guys know I don't pronounce well. How precise and true is Plato's expression, how profound and philosophical his remark on the human soul or ego when he defines it as a compound of the same and the other, and yet how little this hint has been understood, since the world took it to mean that the soul was the breath of God, of Jehovah. It is the same and the other, as the great initiate philosopher said, for the ego, the higher self, they, when merged with an indivine monad, is man, and yet the same as the other, the angel in him incarnated, as the same with the universal Mahat. The great classics and philosophers felt this truth when saying there must be something within us which produces our thoughts. Something very suitable. It is a breath. It is fire. It is ether. It is quintessence. It is a slender likeness. It is an intellection. It's intellectual. It is a number. It is harmony. Voltaire. Pause there. Ashiana Dean in the Voyagers books. How do I explain this? Because I just said you're fractaled, like a little portion of your consciousness is in this vehicle that you're inhabiting. The next couple of layers up is angelics, archangels, ascended masters, rishis, and all of that fun stuff. Daihan Kohans is up there as well. But that's just the lower 5, 4, 5, 6 in density dimensional space. And then it goes even higher. So when I say I have Archangel within my essence and they're working through me, it's 654 streaming in through my channeling. Where do your thoughts come from? It's a complex question, and it's a complexity of your oversoul, which is more celestial galactic. That includes interdimensional and multidimensional beings that you share your essence with. Many times. All these are the Manasam and Rahayas, the Kumaras, Asuras, and other rulers and Pitras who incarnated in the third race and in this and various other ways endowed mankind with mind. There are 7 classes of Pitras, as shown below, 3 incorporeal and 4 corporeal, and 2 kinds the Anguishwada, and the Barishad. And we may add that, as there are two kinds of Pitris, so there is a double and a triple set of Barishad and Anguishwada. The former, having given birth to their astral doubles, are reborn as sons of Artri, and are the Pitris of the demons, or corporeal beings on the authority of Manu, while the Anguishwada and are reborn as sons of Marshi, son of Brahma, and are the Pitris of the gods Manu, again Matsya and Padma Puranas, and in the laws of the Manvaratas. Moreover, the value Purana declares all the seven orders to have originally been the first gods, the Vrayas, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this, whom Brahma, with the eye of yoga, beheld in the eternal spheres, and who are the gods of gods. And Namatsya adds that the gods worship them, while the Harivansa distinguishes the Varahyas as one class of Pitris, only a statement corroborated in the secret teachings, which, however, identify the Varahas with the elder Anguishwadas. And the Rayas, and well, I'm not attempting that. Sorry, guys, who are incorporeal without even an astral phantom. Vishnu is said in most of the MSS to have incarnated in and through them. In the Ratvayat Manvarata, again, Hari, best of gods, was born of Sambayu, whatever, as the divine manas, originating with the deities called Rajas. I know I'm losing everybody here. Sambhuti, I'm pronouncing that wrong, was a daughter of Dangska and wife of Marshi, the father of the Angeshwada, who, along with the Rajas, are even associated with Manas, whatever, as remarked by a far more able Sanskrit than Wilson, Mr. Fitzwald Hall. Manasa, I'm going to say Manasa, is an inappropriate name for a deity associated with the Rajas. We appear to have it in Manasam, the same as Manas, with the change of termination required to express male personification. And Varaya is Brahma, and therefore the incorporeal Pitris are called Varayas, from being the sons of Varaya, says Vanu Purana. So I suck at the Indian stuff, and I do apologize. We could multiply our proofs of infinitum, but is useless. The wise will understand our meaning. The unwise are not required to. There are 33 Koros, or 330 millions of gods in India. But as remarked by the learned lecturer on the Bhagavad Gita, they may be all devas, but are by no means all gods in the high spiritual sense one attributes to the term. This is an unfortunate blunder, he remarks, generally committed by Europeans. Deva is a kind of spiritual being, and because the same word is used in ordinary parlance to mean God, it by no means follows that we have to worship 33 crores of gods. And he adds suggestively, these beings, as may be naturally inferred, have certain affinity with one of the three component yapads, basic principles, in which we have divided man. The names of the deities of certain mystic class change with every Manvarata. Thus, the 12 great gods, I don't know if that's a J or an F, because it's in italics, Jayas, created by Brahma to assist him in the work of creation in the very beginning of the Kapala, and who, lost in samadhi, neglected to create, whereupon they were cursed to be repeated born in each manvrata, till the seventh are respectively called Arjets, Tish, skipping all of that. There's 7 names there. Okay, I'm gonna try because this is ridiculous, and I do apologize. Tushitas, Saktas, Harris, Bekthas, Sadhyas, and Dayas. They are Tukesh in the second Kapala and Adesh in the Veva, whatever period, besides the other names for each age, but they are identical with the Mansa or Rajas, and these with our incarnating Daihan Kohans. They are classes of the Grana Devas. Yes, besides those beings who, like the Yakshas, Granhavas, Kinaras, taken in their individualities, inhabited the astral plane, there are real Devagranams, and to these classes of devas belong the Adeyas and the Varayas, the Kumaras, the Asuras, and all those high celestial beings whom occult teaching calls Manaswin, the wise, foremost of all, and who would have made all man the self-conscious, spiritually intellectual beings they will be, and they have not cursed to fall into generation and to be reborn themselves as mortals for their neglect of duty. We're gonna stop there for today, because holy cow, the butchering of my words. Yikes. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so when we continue, we'll go a little bit into some fun stuff. The grand apocalypse metaphor. I know I saw something with Thor and the hammer. Prometheus. There's a lot here, so it's a big section. So I'm going to cut it off there to continue, because as we can hear me, I'm struggling. As always, fun times. But thank you guys for your support and your likes, your subscribing, your sharing, and helping me out is so appreciated. Just the gratitude pouring out of my heart. It's immense. Yeah. I hope to figure out a way to get my sinuses cleared and allergies at bay, because that's what's really happening. I'm purging. There's a lot of energy going on right now for a lot of us, and a big purge, retrograde energy, things shifting and mind-boggling. So guys, until the next time, thank you so much for your support. I hope to do a Wasp Bay hopefully tomorrow, and moving forward, I have to look for another job because it's bad. And I want to thank everybody for helping me out. I'm being tested in a big way, and I don't know what to do. So if anybody has some part-time work ideas, just ideas, it doesn't need to be, let's Amish mindset for me, because my brain's overwhelmed and I'm trying to figure it out as I go along. But I want to keep this channel going, and I want to keep the work that I do going spiritually, because that's another part of my mission. Mission 1 was with the kids, highest timeline, but not one that pays well, and we're still in 3D. And until the world goes back to normal where things are affordable, my bills are extremely high, taxes are high, and I still have to participate in that crap. So, yeah. Until the next time, guys, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.